Today we're going to conduct an experiment. Most people see the world through the eyes of Google/YouTube, aka Alphabet's key products, Google and YouTube themselves, the two biggest search engines on the planet. Now, to be clear, Google is a very reasonable, fair and rational company, not at all infected by the currently dying woke mind virus. They didn't embarrassingly release an AI image generation product about a year ago that was trying to rewrite history. I certainly haven't, across multiple exclusive Patreon videos, exposed the insane bias and fiddling of search results, especially front page and, of course, Google image results, trying to misrepresent reality. And I'm definitely not being sarcastic. But given the fact that most people aren't going to ground truth on X and either get all of their quote-unquote news and information from the fake news, which is terrible, or if you're slightly more digitally savvy, Google and or YouTube, I just wanted to see what the typical person out there is being told, shown, and the vibes that are being encoded about Tesla. So, in a brand new incognito window, not signed in, no cookies, no search history, no nothing, I've opened both YouTube and Google, and I'm simultaneously going to do a search for the term Tesla and see what we come up with. Now, the reason for doing these both at the same time is so that I don't search on YouTube and then start clicking videos, and by the time I do a Google search, it's already realized I don't want to see this, or I watch this for a few seconds, but this one I watch longer. So we're going to do these in real time, including any recommendations that it comes up with. So, the very first recommended search under Tesla, besides the actual word Tesla, is Tesla Pi phone, followed by Model Y, followed by Model Y 2025, Tesla Robot, Tesla Rust, Tesla Model 3, and Tesla Stock. But we are just going to search for Tesla. And while that's searching, we're going to move across to Google and do the exact same thing. Here, interestingly, Tesla share price, the second most common search, followed by Tesla Stock, then Tesla Model Y, and obviously it does know that I'm in Australia. So let's search for Tesla on Google. Now we're going to click over to news on Google, because otherwise we're going to find a bunch of official content, the official Tesla website. Let's just actually go to the top stories. I didn't even need to switch. The very first thing after the Tesla website on Google is some top stories. So let's just see. And I'm actually going to keep tabs on these, make a little table, without even needing to click on these. Is the general perception, the headline, subtext, etc., positive, neutral, or negative? Just to be clear, the search results for Tesla on Google right now, the number one thing obviously is their website. But as you guys know, actually maybe you don't know, but we're probably 10, maybe 15 years beyond Google actually representing search results to consumers based on linkbacks. They hand fuck with these results now. So you're considering buying a Tesla vehicle. You, instead of going directly to Tesla.com, use Google. Perhaps you're a boomer. You see this, but you scroll a little bit. What else can I look at? And then you see top stories. Let's see here. Top stories. Tesla found partly liable in fatal 2019 crash. So I guess that would be a 1 in the negative column. Let's look at all these news articles. Jury orders Tesla to pay more than $370 million in autopilot crash case. I guess that would be a 2 in the negative column. Tesla ordered to pay more than $200 million in autopilot crash case. That would be 3 in the negative column. Next one. Tesla ordered to pay $375 million in fatal autopilot crash. That's another one. We now got 4. Tesla hit with $374 million fine for autopilot death. We're now at 5, all in the negative column. And 6, Tesla found partly to blame for fatal autopilot crash. Now, I was not expecting this. I mean, I hadn't heard about this quote-unquote news, but look, I've got to say it. I've said it before. If somebody is involved in an accident in a vehicle and they were the driver of the vehicle, Tesla and or autopilot is not at fault, period. This is like a retard going into McDonald's, spilling coffee all over themselves, and then trying to sue McDonald's because their coffee's too hot. No, you're a retard who spilled coffee over yourself. Unless somebody at McDonald's threw hot coffee in your face as you're ordering it, it's your fault. But of course, in a hypothetical example of somebody just searching on Google for Tesla, the first thing they see after the website is fatal crash, liable, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. A clean sweep in the negative column. You couldn't make this shit up. Let's continue though. Oh, okay. A search for Tesla, and there's a link to drive.com.au with a review for the MG IM5, which is not a Tesla. So why in the flying fuck would the first story on an automotive website be a review for a potentially competing product? And then, so this is going to go in the neutral, but technically misdirection column. And then finally, energy storage news. Tesla, I don't think we're going to sell another battery in Australia. That's not grid scale, I'm going to guess that means. Fair enough. So I'm going to say that's neutral. So far, recapping, we had 6 negative, 2 neutral. We'll click on more news, but now let's head over to YouTube search. And while this is loading, let's see what we find here. Number 1, new Tesla Model Y surprises everyone. We weren't expecting this. Well, that sounds positive to me. The Content Machine, the Electric Viking, second slot here. Tesla versus China in world's biggest ADAS test. That would probably be neutral. an ad, a positive one here from Brighter with Herbert, featuring one of my favorite big brain Tesla investors. Definitely positive. 10 reasons to buy a Tesla Model 3 in 2025. I would suggest that's likely positive as well. So far, so good. More from Herbert. I'd say neutral on the face of it. Now, by the way, just to explain how I'm assessing this, right? If there's not a clear positive or a clear negative in terms of the terminology, the way it's being phrased, etc., I assume neutral, even if you would actually click on the video and it's quite positive. Because the point here, the perceptions are being programmed into people who may not actually watch the video. Next one. Tesla says FSD unsupervised will be turned on for all Tesla owners. Well, I would say that's positive, although it's fairly factual. Geez, the Electric Viking here getting some massive coverage. Shout out to Sam. By the way, if you guys haven't seen our long interview, maybe late 2024, check it out. Find it in my playlist entitled Interviews. A cheaper Model Y, lots of changes. I'd say that's positive. We're bordering on neutral, but I want to be semi-reasonable here. So far, YouTube, good. More from the Electric Viking. Dude, absolutely crushing it. Now, I'm noticing something. How many times have we seen Model Y so far? Let's count, actually. Model Y. I'm just going to go and see how many times this particular product has been mentioned so far. 1, 2, 3 in a row. How interesting. So overall, the video is presented by YouTube before it starts ramming brain aids, aka shorts, down everyone's throat. Seem actually quite reasonable, skewing more toward positive than negative. Now, whether or not the algorithm noticed me lingering on a few thumbnails long enough to decide I wanted to see more of that and less of something else, I don't know. But this is a stark contrast to what people were seeing shoved down their throat on Google. Now, if you do search for Tesla news, the entire page on Google is dominated by this. Oh, shit. One story. Of course, I didn't know this was going to happen ahead of time. On a different day, it might have looked different, but there's not a variety of news. I have clicked on more news after searching Tesla. The second thing I see is top stories. I didn't click on tell me more about this particular thing. I didn't click this link here, Tesla fan. No. I clicked more news. And when I click more news, what do I see? 600 clones of the exact same coverage of the exact same story from different outlets. Not one, not two, not three. No, a whole fucking page of the exact same thing. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 9 articles presented here. Then it's saying, would you like more coverage of this exact... No, I don't. I want to see more news. So I scroll down a little bit more. One other story that isn't relating to this autopilot jury outcome. One. Let's click on page 2. More negative, more negative. Oh, here's one. Not on the same subject. I gave the new Tesla Dyna a test drive. Here's my verdict. The first time I drove to the Tesla Dyna, I took one look and kept on driving. There's no way I was joining that chaotic, I'm assuming, line or bunch of people. More on this jury verdict. Tesla sales drop again. More on the jury verdict. Oh my God, dude. So, I think we have discovered that Google, as of today, is serving up on a platter an enormous amount of negative coverage about Tesla. Now, you could, of course, argue, well, that's because the mainstream media provides nothing but relentlessly negative coverage on Tesla, and therefore, Google's just presenting a sampling of the media coverage on Tesla, which just so happens to be 99% biased, and that may be true. The next phase of this experiment, I do have a suspicion, given the fact that I hovered and lingered on a couple of these videos, YouTube may already be deciding on us what I want to see more and less of. So I'm going to close these incognito tabs completely, open again, search again for Tesla on YouTube, and this time I'm going to speed scroll down the list just to see if there's any variation, maybe not, just to test my hypothesis. I am, after all, a scientist at heart. And then I'm going to close the incognito tab once more and search for Tesla, then immediately switch to results from the last 24 hours to see if there's any variation there. Let's go. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's search again for Tesla on YouTube. Don't know why it's a white light background now. Oh, that's interesting. Now suddenly I'm being served up shorts instead of... that's really suspicious. You know what? Maybe YouTube just decided the guy on that IP address didn't watch any of those long form videos. Let's just shove some shorts down his throat. So let's see here. Shorts, and more shorts. A bunch of brain aids. Let's see here. Tesla battery, blah, blah, blah. Some shorts, more shorts, lots of shorts. Let's just, as I said, I'm going to power scroll through these and then we'll have a look. Maybe there's a bit of variation, and sure enough, there was an absolutely massive change in what was being presented. How curious. So with that experiment out of the way, as promised, let's search for today. And I'm actually just going to hold page down, scroll through everything, just so that it doesn't give us special recommendations based on which videos are lingered on the thumbnail for 3 seconds. And then we're going to scroll through these manually. That way, it can't change. This is kind of the default presentation, assuming. So let's see, number 1, what's the very first thing we see? Stiffed by Tesla. Actually, you know what? That's a high IQ headline I should have personally used when Tesla expanded their geofence in Austin to a dick. Bro, why didn't I think of that? That would have been hilarious. Get it stiffed by Tesla. Anyway, so from the Crisis News Network, stiffed by Tesla. The car company owes small businesses millions in ... That's the very first thing we see. Why is it, by the way, that YouTube tends to give priority to fake news outlets? I don't understand, but it seems to be a common It's just, I don't get it. But it's a recurring theme. I don't like to see mainstream media outlets getting elevated on a platform like YouTube among so many independent content creators, but it seems to be a common recurring theme. Let's see if this holds true in this scrolling. So the Crisis News Network, very negative on Tesla. I should probably resume my columns. We did the search results. It was overwhelmingly negative. We did YouTube initially. It was actually quite positive, skewing to neutral, not too negative. But then I close everything down and don't linger on the first or two videos. And then suddenly, boom, negative. Let's see. So negative. Oh, and negative again. Okay, so we've got 2 in the negative column so far on YouTube for last 24-hour results. Another one that's negative, short this time. So that's 3 for negative. One of the ultimate content creating trolls, Jeremy Judkins. Dude's hilarious, by the way. I'm going to say probably neutral. Here's a negative one. My Tesla's ride-hailing failed to impress stock market. See, flop, it says. So we're going another negative there. Some dickhead with 3 first names. I suspect that was a rather positive video, just a hunch. What the fuck is this shit? Tesla thought they won. Rivian's quietly taking over. I should have had a column for retarded as well, but I'm going to put that in the neutral column, even though it's kind of skewing negative, but I'm going to say neutral. They're probably just clickbaiting, not for attention. Here's a neutral one, a short about transforming a Tesla. Michael here, keeping it pretty vague. I'll assume neutral here. Massive news just dropped, plus Tesla stock breaking news. That's going in the neutral column. We've got Andy here with a 600-mile road trip. We'll say neutral here again, just based on what we're being presented initially, not the actual content. Another negative one, the jury verdict. So we're now currently 5 from 5, neutral to negative, not positive yet. Tesla is about to dominate everything. This motherfucker sounds like me. I'll say positive on that. Do not buy 2026 Tesla Model S Plaid. Till you watch my video. Till you see this. Oh wait, it means the same thing. We're going to go neutral on that. We've got Doug over here. Seems pretty neutral on this video. More on the jury, negative. And I think that might be where we wrap it up. Now overall, based on the table that I created here, there was approximately as much neutral coverage as there was positive, but definitely an overall negative skew about Tesla. Now just imagine for a moment that you've heard about Tesla. You head to Google. By the way, I've just done that in the same window, so it might recall a few things I've already clicked on or watched. You search for Tesla on Google, and you're scrolling through the sublinks on their website, Model 3 and Model Y, and you want to keep, what else is there? What's this? Oh, Tesla found partly liable in a fatal. Oh my God. Now, the reason this is so disingenuous, dishonest, and deceptive, the presentation, the vibes that are being broadcast to people who just read headlines or don't even read them, just glance at them. This is a complete injustice to the reality that Tesla makes the safest vehicles ever tested by miles, literally by miles, lowest probability of injury ever. And customers using a Tesla vehicle with autopilot engaged are vastly less likely to be involved in a collision, let alone injured, permanently disabled, or worse, involved in a fatality. Tesla publishes this data. It's not my hypothesis. These are facts. Consumers are much safer in Teslas, both in terms of avoiding collisions, accidents in the first place, and even if they are involved in an accident, much less likely to be injured. Tesla has the safest vehicles ever tested by probability of injury during a collision of any company ever. Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, the Model X, and the Cybertruck. Lowest probabilities of injuries ever in their respective categories ever, period. Yet this is not the perception a consumer would have reading this stuff. But don't worry, guys, girls, because the media, Alphabet, aka Google, YouTube, the whole machine, this is the only ever example of any bias or distortion of reality. You'll find 0 other examples of this occurring. I'm definitely not being sarcastic. So you can sleep easy knowing that Tesla's the exception to the rule here, not the rule when it comes to coverage about literally anything ever from the media, including large tech companies like Alphabet, owner of Google and YouTube. By the way, guys, just to be clear, I didn't plan this ahead of time. I had no idea that this would be the first primary story dominating the news today. I suspect, however, if you did this 7 times, 7 days out of a single week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at least 5 of those days, you would find something similar. A sea of negativity around Tesla, specifically from the news media, being amplified, especially by Google and their search results. Oh, and one final thing, just in case you guys forgot, Tesla basically doesn't spend any money advertising in any of these media outlets, and that certainly wouldn't cause any negative bias whatsoever. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.